And it hit record. Excuse my fucking mess. So yeah, I honestly thought when I first started posting these videos that I had it in me to do it way more often than ended up happening. And I was on a good run for a little while, but I like doing it. It's just finding the time is really tough. Oh, look at you, Sony. You lost autofocus. Huh. Yeah, and that's why, like even doing AF on video for like talking head shit, honestly, I still pull fucking focus because, well, at least if I do go out of focus, I can at least know what to blame. With this, I have no idea what to blame. And I mean, I see the other monitor and it's like, whoa, where'd you go? Fucker. Anyway, you're gonna have to put up with this because I'm not changing it. Wait, what if I get closer? Here, buddy. Do you need to see? Yeah, there you go. Can you see my eye now? There we go. Are you fucking kidding? How? I'm not moving. I'm well lit-ish. Well, anyway, I see it breathing. That's the funny thing. Or is that just my eyesight? No, it was breathing. So I checked. It's been 2 fucking years. Like literally 2 years since I did one of these. And I kind of feel bad about it. I mean, the fact that it's holy fuck you. Okay, let's see. I'll get even closer. If you fall out of focus now, you fucking piece of shit. How? How, dude? Do I have to keep moving for you to keep focused? Jesus Christ. Yeah, 2 years. And it's still, look at that. Look at that. Fuck this. Okay, we'll try this again. I put on a Leica R50 Similux instead of that, I don't know what's wrong with it tonight because it's always kind of worked. I mean, always. So maybe the camera's having I don't know. But yeah, 2 years. I checked on YouTube. I mean, my aspirations aren't to be like some YouTube fucking guy. Hey, I just switched fucking gear for the 19th time this fucking year because some social media comms team reached out and said, hey, you should try our new shit. And there are idiots with bated breath, waiting with bated breath for like these new gear. Like, come the fuck on, just fucking shoot, seriously. And that that's why I haven't had time to do this because that's what I do for a living. I shoot. I don't just make videos and I consume plenty of YouTube. Consume plenty. Yeah, and is back, because I'm not used to doing this. I used to work on my anchor words, but I don't. So besides work, which, I like what I'm doing. I do a lot more. And it's funny because I'm looking at the monitor and some fucking asshole, I don't like it when you don't look at the lens. Fuck you. Like, seriously. Don't care. I really don't care. So this is being filmed on, and I don't know if have I done one on this camera? It's always been on a Fuji, little DSLR or whatever the fuck they're called. And how many times have I said fuck? Like, YouTube has got some, but you know what? You're not finding me organically, I don't think. I think you have to specifically come here, and that's great. Very happy about that. And that is funny as shit. This light is literally right above my head, giant parabolic, shot into that wall. Huh. Interesting. And then I'm like looking at the frame. I'm like, oh wow, that's James. The photo behind me, I don't know if you can see it real well. It's fucking gorgeous. Just, I mean, one of the best fashion guys who moved from New Zealand to New York with it. I don't know, less than a year ago. James Lowe. Watch his Instagram. He's absolutely ridiculous. He actually uses lighting in like this textural kind of way that a lot of people don't do, but he's a fucking genius, and his work is ridiculously beautiful. Where did I put my drink? And not alcohol. It's too early, actually. It's like 5:30. I knew I wanted to get one of these done this weekend. Not diet. Because I felt horrible. I got all sorts of emails, like more than a dozen, and I just felt fucking bad, right? But I knew I would find the time to do one of these at some point. And record is on, right? Yeah, bitchin'. Yeah, I don't know. You can't keep up with this shit and work and do this. There's no way. Because the busiest dudes I know think of social media, well, they used to really think it sucked. And I don't know, is YouTube social media? It kind of thinks, I think there's a side of it that's like, I don't know how to do this, but I'm going to watch a few videos and I'll bet I can do it afterward. You know, and that's like, I like for construction shit or garden shit. But I think there are really communities around some of these sad sacks of shit. And I'm not going to link to anybody in this description or anything. I'm not putting an intro or whatever the fuck they're called. Not doing that. I am shooting this in log, so I will definitely throw a grade on it. But I just saw the other day this, and everybody who, because of this platform or YouTube and social media in general, it is amazing the empowerment of real assholes and really untalented people who think, oh yeah, I'm gonna. But you know, a marketing guy told me, because I asked him, camera guy, big camera company, well, famous camera company. I said, why the fuck would you ever engage with this guy? And he said, sometimes we do that so that a customer says, oh shit, I'm as talented as that guy. I can do that too. And you know, most of them would have to be rich to do that. And to tell you the truth, I'm watching focus peaking on one of the monitors, and it's like my mouth is red and my eyes are like, it looks demonic. I mean, I'm sure there are those who would probably say that's true. Whatever. Don't give a fuck. So yeah, 2 years. A lot's happened in those 2 years. I got COVID once from the richest people I know. Unrepentantly give me fucking COVID. I don't hold it against them. Let's see. I shot for a multi-billion-dollar company doing some stuff, which was cool as shit. Which takes a lot of time. You know, like, this is the shoot log. That's all the footage I shot, and everything has to be keyworded. And so, you know, like the shoot takes, you know, 3 or 4 days. This takes a week. But fun. I worked simultaneously for another company doing same kind of content stuff, stills and video. I kind of push people more towards video because the engagement for stills just isn't there as it was. And it doesn't matter how fucking pretty it is. People just get deluged with it. And it's so funny. I was so used to seeing the focus go in and out, like the breathing, fucking trippy. It feels like I still see it, but I don't. But I don't see how you can actually honestly say that you do this for a living and still have what do you don't fucking sleep? Like, and that doesn't sound like fun at all. And I mean, I'm not really apologizing for not having done these because I don't know, there were 30 of them, I think. In fact, I think there's actually more that I just didn't get around to post. But it is coming up to winter, so winter, there's always a little bit more to do. A little less to shoot, more to edit. And almost 2 years ago, this date, I was searching, on YouTube for some music, and it served me Vivaldi's Four Seasons, but it was, and that's not really what I even was looking for, but it served me that and some suggestions. So I was like, whatever, fuck it. Hit play. It was like November of 2020. See, 21 to 22, 22 to 23. Yeah, so it would be November of... And what was interesting to me was I never really thought about what it made me feel. It was probably the best rendition of Four Seasons I've ever seen in my life. And I watched the entire thing. I said, this is beyond beautiful. And I played guitar since I was 10, 11, 9, 10, somewhere in there. I know the basics of reading music. So I just started looking at different kinds of music and what I could decipher from, because it's a different language, of course. I called a friend of mine who's a professional violist. I said, this is what this made me feel. And she's like, well, you should go buy a violin. I'm like, fucking old. But, I mean, I'm not decrepitly old, but, I'm old. That seems like something a 6-year-old would do. So I would say a few weeks later, I listened to a lot of violin, and I listened to all like people who did progress videos. I'm like, wow, like even after a year, these people suck across the board. I talked to another buddy who's a musician, and he said, nobody ever says, hey, that person's a natural at violin. It just takes a shit ton of work. So whatever. I'm used to practice and relentless pursuit through practice of different things in my life. So I'm like, fuck it. Next time I'm down south, I'll look up the place that my friend, the violist girl, told me to check out. And because of fucking COVID and, most musicians are definitely... I would say that there's a certain genre of person who thinks a certain way that is more afraid of pretty much everything that confronts them. So, of course, these people were as well. They said you have to have like 9 masks on, and you have to like bathe yourself in fucking hand sanitizer. Whatever. I dropped her name. They were like, oh yeah, come on in. So, dropped several $100s on. It's good. It's a student one. I've like felt different kind of violins, and this one was definitely lighter, so I knew it wasn't like some old German tank that students normally played on. And it was really really difficult. There's no, so if you learn how to play piano, it's one thing, and I'm not saying that if you play piano, it's not anything compared. No, I'm not saying that. But if you hit an A or an A sharp, your A sharp, if we're on the same piano, I hit it and you hit it, same tone, same everything. The way I hit it's going to be a little different, but the tone exactly the same. On this torture device, not even close. So and I know I'm going to sound psycho. So I've practiced almost 700 days in a row. I think it is 700. And I've probably accumulated in those 700 days almost 2 years, coming up in January next year. 2,000 to 3,000 hours of actual playing. And as my teacher says, active listening is actually also practicing. And yeah, I mean, yes, I enjoy listening to Bach Partita 2D minor. That's active listening. Will I ever get to play that? Probably not. It doesn't. That's not really the case. That's not really the point. I took online lessons for, during COVID, all of 2021. Yes, all of 2021. And I told myself, look, if you can keep with it for this, and, because online, they're not as expensive as in-person stuff. So earlier this year, like the first quarter of this year, I want to say February, March, I think I made contact with her in January, and to have like someone vouch for you, and literally like the guy who works on my violins, he had to kind of vouch for me. But holy shit, she stripped away many things, and kind of like, I think with this instrument you climb a sand hill, and then you think things are going cool, and then someone like her changes one tiny little thing about the angle of your sternum and the angle of your wrist. I think it's gonna, what did it say? Oh, it said that the barometric pressure dropped, so I suspect we're gonna have some rain or snow or some shit. So the angle of just this, the curl of your pinky on the bow, all this stuff. And is it easy to be a photographer? I think these days, you just shoot it fucking wide open, and I don't know. There are enough idiots out there that probably think that's great. But with this torture device, every single tiny little thing. But my teacher, she's a PhD in violin performance. She wouldn't do this stuff just because she wants to waste her breath, or she's like some vindictive, weird sociopath that just wants to see people suffer. Because everything that she's helped me with and taught me how to do, I've gotten, I mean, I'm a solid Suzuki 2.5, In another year or so, year and a half, I hope to play something cool like Vivaldi Violin Concerto A minor. So that has taken up not all my time, but it takes up enough time that I would do this kind of thing, because it's fun and it's cool once in a while, but it's not that rewarding. I don't find self-worth through it really is fucking amazing because as much as I do troll, yeah, you know, under a sock puppet, but whatever. And it's not like I do that all the time. It's just I find it hilarious. So there's a dude. He says photography. So he's doing a critique through some other fucking guy who's doing a critique. And this is their life's thing. Like they you hear him talk about selling pictures to magazines. He's never sold one in his life. He's given them away, and not to like a real publication, but like a nonprofit that is centered around a philosophy. I listened to it for an hour while I was eating lunch the other day. I was like, holy shit. You know, and it's funny. Not to quote Elon Musk, but what the fuck did he just say? He said, where'd you go? He said, those who want power are the ones who least deserve it. It's so fucking true. Especially with all these fucking camera experts, and especially like the street photography ones. I kind of thought maybe street had died enough because, you know, the street tog fucking era, that's gone. That's goodbye. And thank God. Those fucking guys are probably shooting fucking flowers. I don't know what they're doing now. Flowers, birds. They traded the Leica in for, you know, a nice 400, nice 600. Probably well, and I'm not saying that bird photographers are bad. I'm just saying, cool, good. But it doesn't seem, I'm not sure if it's dead enough. I kind of wish it was deader, you know? But interestingly, I shot something. How long have I been acquiring footage? Probably since 2010. So, and I had footage before that, but like actually actively engaging in getting footage, files, whatever you want to fucking call it, on a news street thing. And I know I've talked about that, but it always just never really seemed the right time, because that means I have to be, you know, I have keyworded and logged the video, kind of like the one how I showed you before with all my fancy post-it note tabs. But it was primarily Severin and I mean, a lot of different places. New York, Berlin, Los Angeles, of course, San Francisco, before it became an absolute shithole. And when I take anything... So I would probably hire security if I did go to San Francisco, an armed security. Not so much in Los Angeles. I know shit happens, but, you know, I'm not... You know, I wear a fucking smartwatch. I'm not going to roll outside with a Patek Philippe that fucking roving scumbags know what it is. Besides, anyway, probably the wrong guy to do that to, but yeah, I don't know. I just don't want to invite it. So Severin, me, I did a little bit with my buddy Rinzi. And it's kind of like an answer to the first one I did, and that there was Frank in that and my buddy Mario. But Frank, I knew I needed to talk to again just because I really appreciate his perspective on street photography. It's similar to mine. And then I went back down to LA for something, and Literally, we met at a coffee shop, and because he had a cold, but whatever, he said he'd come out, and that's fucking cool as shit. So if he's willing to do it, I'm willing to do it. Literally go outside in this patio because it's LA. It's also nice outside. It's not like it's under freezing. Set down sticks, set down a camera on the sticks, mic him up. Lighting was even, natural, cool. I didn't need to throw on a light, but didn't ask for permission. Just fucking sat the shit down and started shooting. One of his buddies rolled up, a DP kid, super talented, and turns out he's a really good street photographer. And so we kind of got talking, and Frank started talking about his work, and he was showing me his work on Instagram, I think, which is about the only place I post. And as much as I think Mark Zuckerberg's a scumbag, and I think most social media is not what you think it is, whatever, it's fine. I like to share something once in a while and Instagram's. I'm not going to do Flickr. I don't care about community. Like, I like comments and I say thank you, but yeah, I don't give a rat's ass about a fucking community. I mean, what's the fucking point, right? There's no time for that. So I kind of said, hey, I should talk to you about this too. So instead of just going right to edit, because it's about to be winter, I decided to give myself a little bit more work and include someone else. And also, to be totally honest, I mean, so I read, skim through this, but it's excellent. And in fact, you can get like an amazing discount on that thing. It weighs a lot, but so Bystander by Colin Westerbeck and Joel Meyerowitz. And I've actually talked to Colin, really nice dude. I met him through an art dealer friend. Really nice dude. Honestly, knows way more about this genre than the genre of, I mean, yeah, street, but social documentary realism. No one's ever going to say that. But street's such a fucking unfortunate name to call something, because even if you go to like hashtag street photo review on Instagram, are you fucking kidding me? It's pictures of fucking streets. Like, you don't go through the hashtag and you go, oh, that's got a person and there's kind of a moment, or maybe there's some pattern. No, you just put up a fucking photo of a fucking street. Okay, I mean, okay. I mean, at least if you, like, I don't know. It's just like what Elon said about the unfortunate ones are the ones who get popular on all these fucking things now. It has nothing to do with talent. It has some, I don't know. Maybe they're just sad sacks of shit as much as the people who watch them. Kind of seems like it. Okay, back to what I was talking about. Anyway, Bystander. It got some pretty good reviews, but I think what stuck out in my mind was the biggest complaint was people said, they said it was whitewashed. And I mean, if you looked at Severin and I on if I, that'd be pretty fucking whitewashed too. So I didn't want our voices to be the only ones that were heard in that. So, oh, Renzi's not a white guy. He's a Filipino dude. Frank's obviously black. His buddy Greg. I think it'd be more interesting. So, yeah, the most of the footage, of course, is Severin and I. Well, I honestly, and at two of the workshops that we did, because we knew that we wanted to meet a lot of the people who we met through our photo blogs and DeviantArt and our other blogs. And this was, I mean, did we make any fucking money out? No. Our workshops, that was not the point. And I remember the same photography guy, he said, you know, there's two of you. That's such a value. And I'm like, value? What do you mean value? Well, you're going to do a lot of these, right? And I'm like, no, we'll do like 3 or 4 of them. It's not really the point. And for a lot of these fucking guys, that is the point. That's all they have going. And I'm sorry, I find it fucking sad. I mean, I get people want to learn, but buy photo books. Look at photos. Look at one photo and say, "Oh, I'm gonna make that kind of photo," and try to do it for a fucking year. You know, don't keep buying goddamn cameras all the time, fucking lenses all the time. No reason. Just go make better photographs. So, yeah. Is that what I wanted to say? I mean, putting together actual videos with like other things and like even in the darkroom, it's a pain in the ass. And it takes a lot of fucking time that I don't have. And now, because I am a budding violin player, I think to call yourself a violinist, you should probably be much better than I am. I'm not saying I'm not happy with my progress. I'm 100% happy with my progress. So is my teacher. So, but to do this kind of stuff and like do fancy graphics and, you know, do all sorts of the other shit I see people do, they ain't working. This is 100%. They want to get their numbers to a certain place and they're basically photo fucking pundits. It's photo punditry. And I'm sorry, I find that fucking sad. These gear fuckers that all they do is talk about gear. Like, okay, there's one guy who's really good. Is his name Gerald? I haven't watched that kind of YouTube content for a while. Actually, I've been watching about monitors because I want a new monitor. I want a 7-inch monitor instead of a 5-inch because, and with probably a little better resolution, and one that has more than, I forget how many nits that one has, but I want like at least 1,000 nits. That'd be nice to be out in the sunlight and not have a stupid shade that fucks shades. Fuck monitor shades. Unless that shade is a walking dude with a 36 by 24 flag and is just literally giving you a courtesy flag over your camera and that's cool. But one of those little bullshit ones that falls off all the fucking time, no thanks, don't want that. But I do admit the 100 or so people that I know from this and have known from other places, I like that. I think it's cool as shit to just like sit down and say, this is what's been going on. I mean, most of those people probably see what I post on Instagram. And so tonight, a friend who owns a restaurant invited us to go to his holiday party, which seems to start kind of late. I wanted to do this. I was like, Sunday, you are going to do this. If I came back, you know, they have tequila. I'm sure it would have been a different thing. And I would have said, fuck, at least 3X. And nobody needs that. Well, I mean, I don't know. I don't fucking care. But anyway, honestly, I feel bad a bit for not being around and not having commented or anything or posted anything. And you know, the fact that my desk is a fucking disaster right now. Yeah. And you know, I could show you my violin. I'm not going to. I upgraded since my student violin. I've upgraded twice. One was a beautiful. It's called a bench copy. It's an old 100-year-old German. I knew that there was a certain acoustical formula that I really liked, and there was a guy in the 10s, 20s, like the very early 20th century. I was able to get one of those examples, and it took 2.5 months of restoration. But I traded my luthier with for content for his website, so it ended up not costing me anything. I mean, except for my own time. But that will probably be like my golf clubs, and they will be forever better than I will ever be. I will never hit them the way they could hit a golf ball. But I don't play golf anyway. I used to. But this violin will have much better capability than I will have for a really fucking long time. Because you're not learning in a year, 2 years. I think that this is a 3, 4, 5 year process. But, well, anyway, I do look forward to putting out the street thing, and I'm gonna put it on Vimeo, and if people want to pay a few bucks for it, that's fine. If they don't give a fuck. Putting free shit out there, especially that, because it may be 2 parts. I haven't decided yet. I'm just not into it. It's not worth my fucking time. So yeah, I hope everybody who sees this has a fantastic holidays. If you celebrate Christmas, Merry Christmas. If you celebrate Hanukkah, Happy Hanukkah. I think everybody has a new year. Let's hope everybody gets a fucking new year. So yeah, Happy New Year. And yeah, if I have a few moments in between editing and working and violin practice, I may do another one of these. Because I've gotten to the point with violin where I feel very confident with it. And I don't abhor this, so yeah. Is that it? That's it. I hope everyone's well.